Hey guys, it's 21 Maxwell here and welcome to episode 25 of the TNA TEW series. We're on our go home show before the Battle of Britain pay-per-view, and this week we decided we're going to bring it from the Mass Mutual Centre, the New England region in Springfield, Massachusetts. Not quite Boston, Massachusetts, not quite the home of John Cena, but we're quite nearby. 17 segment show as we change a little bit of the booking towards the pay-per-view, and just to fill in some of the matches that we are hoping to bring to you at the pay-per-view. Let's get straight into the show then with our opening segment. Diamond Dallas Page comes out and books a four-way match between Bobby Lashley, Bobby Roode, Jeff Rowe and Magnus, which will take place at the Battle of Britain pay-per-view. Two storylines progress with this segment. A 69 C+, so just missing out a B and no more, and no worker skill improvements there from DDP, but still, that's decent. And DDP is giving us a fatal four-way match. That's cool, we don't need to blow the booking, we can do that at the pay-per-view. Diamond Dallas Page comes out to the ring, he's still there, and announces the winner of the upcoming bout between Spud and Redman will get a title shot against Rhett Titus. Because it's two lesser names, it only has a 49 and a D+, which is a shame with DDP, but you'll see why we've done this in a second. We then have a match between Beth and Allysin Kay, and about had some solid in-ring action and average heat. Beth defeats Allysin Kay in 6-1 with a Glam Slam. 58 segment, C-, no worker skill improvements, but it was putting Beth over before the pay-per-view match against Velvet Sky. And speaking of Velvet Sky, post-match they have a cat fight. Velvet Sky comes down, attacks Beth, they have a cat fight. The knockout storyline continues, a C+ 68, but no worker improvements there. We then have the match between Rockstar Spud and Redman, and about that had solid in-ring action, but not much way heat. Redman defeats Spud in 7:05 with the twisting brainbuster, 46 D rating. Tracy Brooks did some good work at ringside for Redman. The reason we had this match, I was thinking, it's the Battle of Britain. Why not have two of our lightweight British contenders face each other for a spot in the X Division match, which now going to be Redman, Kenny King, Rhett Titus, triple threat match. Stipulation to be confirmed, but that should be pretty awesome, and hopefully Redman can get a bit of overness from that, and maybe we'll eventually be able to turn them face. Next up, Bully Ray is shown backstage walking around looking very unhappy. He's depressed because of this whole thing with Chris Hero, and that gives a 59 C rating. I'm believing some of the ratings are low again because of the fact that it's an area we haven't been in. But I suppose if you do not touch the area, then you're never going to raise in your popularity. Next up's in a match that had some good action and average heat. Eddie Edwards defeats Drew Galloway in 8:04 by pinfall with a chin checker. 61 C, decent. There's no worker improvements. The plan was to the Wolves take on both members of the Model Citizens before their pay-per-view match at Battle of Britain, and basically try and get a bit of overness before we have the match between them. Hawkins is in the ring and is protesting that they have not, Club Enigma has not got a title match. I will not leave the ring until he gets his way. Matt Hardy runs from the back and chases Brian Myers off. C, 64 rating, that's pretty decent, which leads to an impromptu match. An extremely short match. Hawkins defeats Matt Hardy in 5:14 by pinfall with a twist of pain. Only a 53 rating, a C-, disappointing. Matt Hardy and Hawkins have great chemistry and it showed in their performance. Taz and Mike Tenay have good chemistry, so that's good. At least we know we can put them up in longer matches in the future. But it was just a squash match to put Hawkins over, and it's done its job there. In a match with some good action and average heat, Davey Richards defeats Harry Smith in 7:58 by disqualification. A 64 rating, C match again, and again that's just because of their match at the pay-per-view. Before the match begins, Magnus then asks for a moment of silence as his country's national anthem then plays. C+, 68 rating for Magnus. And about it featured great action and a good crowd. Bobby Roode defeated Magnus in 10:27 by pinfall with a Roode bomb. C+, 71 rating, just short of a B-. And that led us into our next segment, which is Bully Ray and Chris Hero in the ring, arguing. Bully Ray finally has enough. He snapped out his depression, attacks him, and eventually drives him through the table to make a point. The segment ends with Bully Ray standing above the fallen Chris Hero, and that is a 72 B minus, so I'm happy with that. In a match with good action, an average heat, Samoa Joe defeats James Storm by 12.59. Samoa Joe makes defense number 4 of his TNA Central title, only a 53, a C minus. Samoa Joe's improving his performance skills. We'll hope for a bit better, hopefully 60s, but neither have, well, James Storm doesn't really have much momentum, and he was just really a jobber for this role. In the ring, Austin Aries and Adam Cole go back and forth, entertaining insults towards one another. Again, don't want them touching each other. They're going to have the final match at Battle of Britain, and the storyline between them continues. 73 B minus, all good with that. Now this is disappointing, only a 58 C minus match. And about that good a crowd and good action, Bobby Lashley defeats Jeff Rowe in 9.37 by pinfall with the Dominator. During the match we also had Magnus run in and attack Jeff Hardy. Magnus' storyline continues with Jeff, but that is disappointing. And Jeff Rowe improves his performance skills. And I finish the show off, another disappointing segment, only a C. Bobby Roode and Jeff Hardy are celebrating Bobby Roode's victory. Magnus and Bobby Lashley run in and attack them, beating them down to the mat. Two storylines continue. 65 ratings, not great, no worker improvements. It books, the pay-per-view is now set up. I'm going to put this show's disappointment down to the basis that we're in an area we haven't been in yet. And yep, the show increased our popularity in one region, which would be the one we were in, lost its popularity in 6, which is disappointing. We end up with a C62. So I'll wait till we're more a global company before we hit the kind of regions again. That was not a good idea. And it really has me fearing for this pay-per-view, since we're going to have it in Britain. But we're hoping the fact that we're as over in Britain as we are in the tri-state region, that hopefully it should be a good pay-per-view. But I think we'll keep to the tri-state region and various other places for now, before we move on. Nothing really changes there, a couple of people with more morale issues. We never signed Rusev, who went in for. Harry Smith needs a break. 3.91, so we drop down again, and PWG have made an extension to their offer for Rich Swann. And important CNC, roughly about the same. So we still need to get that 65, so we need to get these all near 60 before we do anything. So we'll keep working with the tri-state now. And basically guys, if there's nothing up here that comes up, WWE have not offered a contract extension for Rosa Mendes. We'll look at her. Don't know if she'll do much, I don't know if her stats will be any good, but if it's another knockout, we're all for it. And the feedback for the show was it was good, although some people found it underwhelming. So that is it for this episode guys. Next episode will of course be the Battle of Britain pay-per-view. Hopefully you can join us, hopefully we have a decent show, and hopefully we can have a decent show in Britain and then start our build towards TNA lockdown. So until then guys, this was 21 Maxwell, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you again real soon. Bye bye.